Well, now that we got the shit out of the way, let's get on to talking about the best movies of 2015. Just jump right into it now. Now, keep in mind, like my worst of list, this is a list of my own personal favorite movies of the year. It's not a list of what are the absolute best of the year. And also keep in mind that I have not seen every movie out there. So if a movie that you really love and think is one of the best, if not the best of the year, doesn't pop up on this list, then that probably means I didn't see it, or I just don't meet eye to eye. And by movie, I mean Mad Max Fury Road. I'm sorry. I watched it again, and while I do like it better the second time, the acting's still really good, and the action and cinematography is phenomenal, I could not connect with it emotionally. It is an awesome action movie, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing about it that screams best of the year for me. I'm sorry that it's not going to be on the best of list, but at least I bought it on Blu-ray, so I must like it that much. Again, before we get into the worst of list, here is my pick for the biggest surprise of the year. The movie that I was not looking forward to at all. Saw it, and while I did enjoy it, it's not good enough to be on a best of list. And that would be M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit. We all know M. Night Shyamalan has not had a really good run with Lady in the Water, Last Airbender, After Earth, The Happening. He's just been on a shit streak for quite some time. So with The Visit, I was not looking forward to it, and I saw it and I'm like, whoa, it's actually not shit. Okay, the more I think about the movie, the less I like it, but I was really surprised that this was not a piece of shit. I mean, I still don't understand why this movie is found footage, but whatever, what can you do? But, I mean, The Visit, not a really great movie, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, but it definitely caught me off guard to it not being shit that it ended up being the surprise of the year. Now let's get into what was actually the best of the year for me. And again, this is all my own personal opinion. So coming in at number 10, we have Straight Outta Compton. One thing that I really admire about this movie is that it gave me a bigger appreciation for rap music as a genre, because I was never that fond of rap, but to see the story of NWA and to see like where all their rap music originates, it's kind of inspiring. So I always like movies that are inspiring, even though because Dr. Dre and Ice Cube were producers on this movie, they could not show the bad side of NWA, which I've heard about, and it's stuff that I don't really stand behind. And then the second half of the movie is not as interesting as the first half, but still, it's all around a really good movie, and one I definitely recommend. At number 10, not one of my absolute favorites, but it still did something to earn its spot on the list. Now, at number 9, we have a movie which is probably not going to appear on any other top 10 lists at all that I know of, and I'm probably the only person who's going to have it, but I'm going to go with Avengers Age of Ultron. I would be lying if I said I didn't have any fun with this movie. Is it as good as the first Avengers? Absolutely not. Does it have problems? Yes, it does. But in the end, I still have a lot of fun with this. The banter is still great between all the characters. I love the sequences at the farmhouse where you get to see the humanity in these characters. And I think Ultron does make for a threatening villain because he's so overconfident and always one step ahead of the Avengers. I can see people saying that this is a disappointment, and if there was a disappointment with Age of Ultron, it's that when the Avengers came out in 2012, it was my favorite movie of the year. It made number 1 on my top 10 list that year. This is at number 9, so it definitely is not as memorable as the first Avengers. Like, there's no puny god moment. There's no shawarma moment, but what it does really well. I think it's a movie that, while no masterpiece, it's much better than you'd expect it to be. So, Age of Ultron, yeah, not a super amazing movie, but I still think a really good movie. And definitely not the best movie about artificial intelligence this year. Number 8 is a movie that I think is getting overlooked. It's really great, and I think underrated. Robert Zemeckis' The Walk. The story of Philippe Petit, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who tries to do a wire-walking trick across the 2 towers at the World Trade Center, is really something that impacted me. The idea of following your dreams And even if life gets in the way, tell life to fuck off and quit interfering with your dreams. It's, I think, a really underappreciated movie. And it does prove that Robert Zemeckis is still a really great director. Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a phenomenal job in this movie. It's very heartfelt. It's thrilling once the actual walk happens. And at the end, it'll leave you emotional because it's a very nice tribute to the World Trade Center. I feel like it's this year's Rush, a movie that is really good, but nobody's really giving much attention to, which is sad because I really love this movie. Number 7 is a movie that I was nervous about seeing. I was nervous how it was going to be, but to my surprise, it was really good, and that's the Peanuts movie. Under the name Blue Sky Studios, you are scared that it's going to turn into something like Ice Age, or worse, even though Blue Sky didn't do Alvin and the Chipmunks. You're scared that they're just going to make the Peanuts modernized. They're going to have them rap, just say a bunch of corny dialogue that nobody says anymore. But when you have Charles Schultz's relatives writing the script, it is as close to Peanuts as you'll ever imagine. It's very simplistic, the characters are great, the animation is somewhat unique. It's like the Lego movie where they developed a new animation technique, and it really reminds me of why I love the Peanuts. It's a great property, this movie's great, it's a great reintroduction, and even a great introduction to the world that Charles Schultz created. I absolutely love it. Number 6 is what I think is the best movie about artificial intelligence that came out this year, Alex Garland's Ex Machina. This thing is really great, I think. It's very smart. Got great performances all around, mainly, again, by Oscar Isaac and Alicia Vikander. It's a very smart science fiction movie, which I love. Questions the ideas of artificial intelligence. When does a machine become so lifelike that we can't tell if it's a machine or human? It's got some great thrills. It's really a science fiction bottle film thriller where it takes place in just one house. There's not a whole lot going on, and that helps with the atmosphere of the film. It's got a really unique score, and I don't know, it's one of these situations where less is more. Sure, Domhnall Gleeson may be the weakest actor of the bunch, and he is underwritten, but he still does the best he can with the material that's given to him. Ex Machina is a very smart and well-made science fiction film, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. Now we're getting into the top 5, which the top 5, like, any day these could be my favorite movies of the year, but again, I know a lot of people require me to put these movies in some kind of order, so for the sake of this video, here's how I place the top 5 movies. At number 5, we have Creed. Even though it's very similar plot-wise to the original Rocky, you still care about the characters and on what's going on. Michael B. Jordan has great charisma as the son of Apollo Creed and has redeemed himself from Fantastic Four. The boxing is great, the training montages are well done, the emotions there, you really care about Donnie. And Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa, even though this is his 7th time playing the character, he is phenomenal in this film. He does a great job, and this is the best I've seen Sylvester Stallone since his dramatic monologue at the end of First Blood. It's full of energy, action-packed, emotional. I absolutely love Creed. Number 4 is Ridley Scott's best movie since Blade Runner, in my opinion, The Martian. I have never read the book, The Martian. I've heard great things about it, so I'd like to give it a read one day. But the movie is something that really impressed me. It's very witty, it's funny, it's got great performances all around from actors like Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Jeff Daniels, Kate Mara, who, again, has redeemed herself from Fantastic Four by being in this movie. And it's very smart. Ex Machina was smart, but for artificial intelligence. This is smart for botanists, and it has fun with it. The 3D is great, and for being almost 2.5 hours, you don't feel the length, which is something that any movie that can go close to 2.5 hours but not feel long definitely deserves some praise there. It's a fantastic movie. It reminds me of why Ridley Scott is a great director. And even though he's definitely had his hits and misses, The Martian is a hit that he desperately needed. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite movies of the year. Number 3 is a movie that I heard a lot about. I did not know if this was going to place because movies in this genre today are usually not very good, but I'm sorry, I love It Follows. This is as simple a horror movie as you can get, and it delivers. It's thrilling, it's often scary, it is very slow, don't get me wrong, but like Ex Machina, what works is the atmosphere. The cinematography is outstanding. Almost all the shots in this movie are shots that I would like to frame on my wall. They're that impressive. The score by Disaster Piece is one of my favorite scores of the year. I love Maika Monroe. It can get a tad silly at points if you really look at the entity, but the atmosphere and your ability to give a shit about what's going on saves it from that. And it's weird that a horror movie would end up on my list because, as I've said, horror movies today are usually for shit. I love how this one is very simple and well thought out. It's actually thrilling and doesn't depend on cheap scares. I absolutely love it. Number 2 is Pixar's return to form, at least until The Good Dinosaur came out, which is still good, but The Good Dinosaur is no Inside Out. This movie really needed to come out because for a while Pixar was not doing too hot. I mean, they weren't making terrible movies or even bad movies, except Cars 2, but they weren't making classic after classic like they did with WALL-E, Up, and Toy Story 3. And Inside Out is another Pixar masterpiece. It's very fun, it's energetic, the animation is spectacular, it's emotional, because the movie centers around emotion, and it's very funny at points. It really does take you back to the days when Pixar really put out hit after hit after hit, and they were making better movies than most people out there. It's truly a masterpiece. I absolutely love it. The score is great, the voice actors do a really great job, and it's just another reminder that just because a movie's animated doesn't necessarily mean it can't be one of the best movies of the year, because I absolutely love Inside Out. Now, for a while, Inside Out was my favorite movie of the year for 6 months, but then something else came out. Something came out at the very end of the year that was just better, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I don't know why I'm trying to do a build-up, because it's pretty obvious what it is. If you know me personally, it's pretty obvious. It's Star Wars The Force Awakens. I would be lying to myself if I did not put this at number 1. This is a movie, like with the first Avengers, that has so much anticipation going for it. You want it to be good, but it could easily be bad. There could easily be something in it that fucks it all up. Yet, against all odds, not only is it good, but it's everything you imagine it to be, plus more. This is a movie that reminds me of why I love going to the movies. It reminds me of why I loved Star Wars growing up as a kid. Does it have problems? Obviously, but every movie has problems if you really look deep into it. Some of the greatest films of all time have flaws that we don't think about because you enjoy the movie that much. And for this, yes, it does have elements that are similar to A New Hope. Like, I cannot get past Starkiller Base. But I feel like the scenarios are different enough to where it's not a complete rehash. And if you think that those are rehashes, hey, that's absolutely fine. That's your opinion, but I just absolutely love this movie. I love that return to a galaxy far, far away. I love the simplicity of it, just like the originals. I love that it brings back the fantasy element of the Force. I love the visuals. I love the music. I love the characters. Rey, Finn, Poe Dameron, Kylo Ren, BB-8, they're all great. The action scenes are amazing, the emotions there. I laughed, I cried, I cheered. Star Wars The Force Awakens has made me project every emotion that I possibly have towards this movie, and I absolutely love it. It's great that Star Wars is back in full form, stronger than ever. I'm excited for what the future holds for the franchise, and let's just keep it that way. So, Star Wars The Force Awakens, my absolute number 1 favorite movie of the year. I love it. And those are my top 10 best movies of 2015, ending the year on a positive note. Obviously, I'll have a review for The Hateful Eight coming out, but until then, leave a comment and tell me what you think of my top 10 list. Do you agree with some of them? Disagree with some of them? What are your favorite movies of the year? Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Don't forget to check out my official website, therealmrrobinson.com. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and Periscope. And this is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one.